Hey guys, it's Heidi with Heavenly Minded Homemaker, and welcome back to our Monday series discussing all things just homemaking, natural, biblical living, biblical womanhood. So I know we've been talking a lot lately just about, the chaos of the world right now. Everything seems so, just like it's spinning out of control. But again, as followers of Christ, as Bereans and studiers of Scripture, we know that things aren't falling out of place. They're falling perfectly into God's perfect place, right? There is a world stage being set and everything is coming together, and we know that, and we can take so much comfort in that. I didn't officially write down any notes or put, a super catchy list together of my top 5 reasons or something like that. But something I wanted to share some thoughts on today was just, we see the world, or we see our country, right? We see people staying home. We see kids home, not in school, and parents not off working. Everybody is home. And with that comes a lot of stress and chaos. And we see, the government and all of the things trying to figure out what to do and try to help throughout this crazy time. But I don't know. I feel like there's a lot of joy to be seen at this point. Parents are home with their children. Families are coming together. We're having to cook at home and figure out what to do and play and hang out and do all of this stuff. And that part of it, I think, is kind of cool. That part of it's pretty exciting. But in praying for, our nation and all of you families while everybody is home and spending more quality time together, I understand that that's a really hard shift for most people. It's hard to all of a sudden, even if you're a stay-at-home mom and you have been, all of a sudden your husband's home all the time and the kids don't go to school, and all of this. I understand it is a big shift for many people. And something that I learned when we started with our family, my husband and I, we both worked the 9-to-5s, we did the corporate thing, we did all of that. And then we left everything and we decided to start a business. So then all of a sudden it was both of us home working, and doing all of that. And it was a really big learning curve for us to deal with that. And then now we're in ministry full time. We both work out of the home full time. We homeschool our kids, and now this on top of it, obviously. But I do understand that there is a big curve of adjusting to certain things, right? When all of a sudden everybody is home all the time, right? Kids only want to snack all the time and everything is always a mess. I feel like those are the two non-negotiable factors when all of a sudden you have everybody doing home all of the time. And so I wanted to share some kind of tips and tricks and things that I try to focus on and do to help keep some, semblance of order and just kind of streamline some of these things so we're not going completely crazy with everybody being home. I'm trying to keep my thoughts straight, you guys. We have been so exhausted. We have a very crazy busy weekend with our daughter turning 7 and all kinds of fun. We've been up way too late. And then the baby was up at 4 o'clock this morning. I am so tired. I'm trying to keep my eyeballs open, but I can feel that my brain is a little foggy. So I probably should have written this stuff down, but like I said, I didn't. We're just a couple of moms hanging out chatting, okay? So hold on. I promise I'm working on it. So things that I do to try to keep my home in order and things moving things moving well when everybody's at home all of the time. It's me and my husband. We have 4 kids. And 2, sometimes 3 of our brothers live here at the house with us around the clock too. So we've got a lot of people in our house. And our house isn't huge. We don't live in this big mega house or anything either. So when you have that many, when you have that many people going on in one space, it doesn't take much for things to start getting crazy. And for me, when things start getting messy and cluttered and there's just stuff everywhere, it makes me crazy. I can't focus. I can't think. I don't do well with disorder. It doesn't work for me. And it does affect my husband and the children as well. It's not just me. I think I'm the one who stands out the most because I'm like, I can't do it. But it does affect them as well. So I know that that's something that when, like I said, all of a sudden everybody's at home, you're trying to adjust, there's all this uncertainty, nobody knows what's going on. And then like there's chaos and disorder all around you. And it's like, oh my gosh, I can't do this. I'm going to explode. But you can't even go anywhere and escape because we're not supposed to be going anywhere. So that's the point that I'm trying to get to in all of this. I want to pause before I get into sharing the things that I try to do. I'm not perfect at it. I don't always do it. When I don't do it, I can tell the difference and I want to kick myself in the booty because I know what I need to do to fix it. So I just got to get up and do it. So yes, I don't do this every single day and I feel the difference when I'm not doing it. Second point being is there's always a deeper issue to every problem, regardless of what it is. So we always want to stop and check our hearts. I know for me, and maybe you're this way too, I think the stereotypes are kind of there for a reason sometimes, but when things are stressful and crazy, I will often turn to cleaning, organizing, straightening, just things. And I think that the heart of the matter there is when things are becoming out of my control, I want to go and take care of the things that I can control. So for me, like grief, any type of depression, things like that, I turn that into work. I turn that into cleaning, organizing, putting everything perfect. Because if I can control these things, then at least I have something in control, even if I can't control the other things. So I think it is wise of us to pause, though, and really look at the heart of the matter there and say, hey, why am I doing this? Why am I so concerned about this? Am I stressed out because of the uncertainty? And now I've become, crazy, super angry, fussy mom, wife. Everything has to be perfect in place and nobody can move for fear of me freaking out. You know what I mean? Like, stop and weigh your heart in these things. Are you truly trusting the Lord to provide, to lead, to move, to do whatever it is that you're needing and feeling? Are you truly submitting to His will for your life and whatever your season or situation may be? Are you in scripture? Are you in prayer? Are you doing those things? So none of this other stuff is truly going to help you if you're not doing these things first. So if you completely ignore scripture, completely ignore prayer, completely ignore trusting the Lord every day that He will provide today what you need. If you don't have it today, it's because you don't need it today. End of story. Are you truly doing all that? And then these are some tips that you do to help you in serving your family. Or are you forgoing all of that and just trying to control all of the physical stuff, ignoring all of that, right? Because that's not going to work. You can't do that. You can try, but it's not going to work. So get for real with yourself first and foremost and deal with that stuff, okay? So all of that being said, things that I do to try to help keep some order and peace and just some kind of something in the house when I have a packed house full of a lot of people and everybody is home all the time and we can't go anywhere because starting tomorrow, North Carolina too is on the stay-at-home quarantine or whatever. Nobody's allowed to go anywhere. So things that I do, you guys, this trick is a lifesaver, even when quarantine isn't a thing. Get every space back to ready. I have an Instagram friend, and that is the term that she uses. She gets everything back to ready. And I think it's genius, absolutely genius. So what I mean by that is every space, you can apply this to literally every space of your home, inside, outside, whatever. Get everything back to ready. So often our problem is that things are overwhelming, things are out of control, things are messy and whatever, because we don't just handle them in the first place. And it's so funny, and I thought back on this last night because my aunt she was where I learned, how to be a wife and a mom and things like that. She was your like most stereotypical 1950s like housewife type thing. Like that was her. And she could bake everything. She could cook everything. She could do all of the things. She could sew. She could do all of it. And so I was thinking about that. And I was like, it's funny because we have so many distractions now, right? We're always on our phones. We're watching TV. Just entertainment and everywhere is always grabbing at our attention. And so we have it so easy because we have, dishwashers and, all these things that do all of these jobs for us. And so we don't have to put in the hard work. And so it's so easy to get so lost and out of control, and we just don't take care of things. And I was thinking about that, and I was like, you know what? I remember as a kid, my aunt would cook a huge dinner every night. Every single night. I mean, there was always a whole meal with all of the things. And and that was, on top of lunch and breakfast and snacks and everything else. But she would always make this whole dinner. We would set a whole table, every single night. She always did all of this stuff. And I started thinking about it. I said, but her kitchen was never messy. There was lots of stuff in it that she used because she was always cooking or baking or doing something. But there was never a sink full of dishes. Never. My whole life. I mean, she was like my second mom. We lived at the house, her house with her most all of the time. And I can never remember there being sinks full of dishes. And I was thinking about that, and I said, it's kind of funny because every night after dinner, so not only would she cook this whole meal for everybody, but after dinner, my uncle would go sit down after he had been working all day. My uncle would go sit down and wait for his, he'd have a cup of tea every evening, and she'd always have some kind of dessert on top of it. So he'd go and do that. Us kids, we'd go off and play after we helped, get all of the dishes off of the table and put on the counter. And then next thing we knew, the kitchen was just clean. Because every time, every dinner, every day, before she would go sit down and work on, whatever she was crocheting or embroidering or sewing or whatever, she always had some, project she'd be sitting there working on in her chair while we watched like an evening show and spent time together before bed. She would never go and sit down in the living room until the kitchen was back to ready. And I mean, table wiped down, the lace tablecloth put back on top of it, the candelabras and all of the things, like everything put back to place, counters completely wiped down, oven, stove, like the whole nine, everything put back to ready. She would never, ever, I can never remember a time, my entire childhood, that she would ever come in and sit down and start, hanging out, talking, watching TV, doing anything until the entire kitchen was put back to ready. And I think it's simple things like that if we just take care of in the first place, it makes life so much easier. We are our own worst enemies, I think, most of the time. Yes, I have 4 kids. They make a mess faster than I can clean them up. But they're kids. That's what they do. Yes, I teach them to put things away, and there's part of training them up and things in that nature, but that's what they do, right? My husband, it is not his job to be taking care of our home. It isn't. So I'm not going to fault him for it. Sure, he does his own things and whatever, and that's fine. But it's my job to serve my family, take care of my home. And so when I'm not just doing my job in the first place, that's where we get these problems and issues, right? So I was thinking about it kind of yesterday too, because we had like 2 days of back-to-back birthday parties, one day for my grandfather, and then the next day for our little girl. And we were doing all of this stuff, and it got crazy hot out of nowhere. It's like, I guess we skipped over spring, and now all of a sudden it's summer. And I was just so tired, and I kind of laughed. I said, my mom asked why I wasn't in watching. They were all watching a movie curled up together. We made popcorn and stuff. And I said, Mom, I can't sit down. I'm going to fall asleep. I'm just trying to keep like cleaning and getting the stuff done, because once I sit down, I'm going to be done. Which only happened for a few hours because the baby was up at 4 a.m. But that's what made me kind of think of that. And I was like, but it would be so easy to just go curl up, do nothing, be a bum, whatever. But then I still have all of this mess, and tomorrow's church, and we have all of these things to do. And it's just going to make it really, really stressful if everything's still an absolute disaster. I know I'm going to be on edge. My husband's going to be frustrated. We can't even sit down and eat dinner. There's stuff everywhere. Like nothing is back to ready. And so I wanted to just share again. I know this is really long and rambly. I'm sorry, guys, but point being is let's look at each space and how can we just take the few minutes it takes right then and there to get the space back to ready. So I'm going to start with my bedroom, right? So I wake up in the morning. As soon as you get out of bed, make your bed. That's simple. And if you don't make your bed every day because you've made it a really intricate process, simplify it, okay? Guys, I love making beds. I don't know what it is, but I love a very detailed, multi-layered, super fancy bed making process. I don't have time for that. And it's not going to happen. And so my husband, if he's going to help out make the bed, he sure as heck isn't going to sit here and play 9 million pillows and layers and all of the things. So we simplified our bed. My husband twists up sheets every single night. It drives me batty. We got rid of the top sheet. I said, you know what? I don't care that much, because every day I'd have to take everything off, completely redo it and put it back together. And guys, come on, the more steps there is, that just makes it that much easier to be like, who cares? It's just making bed. I'm going to get in it tonight. Forget it. Well, when your bed's made, that's the majority of your room. So your room will look like 85% put together if you would just make your bed. It's that easy. So we just have a comforter on our bed. Wintertime, we have 2 comforters. That's it. We have nothing else. My husband, with his neck condition, he can't even use a pillow anymore because he's so messed up with all of his issues and problems. So I have my pillow, and then we just now have a pretty pillow that my brother-in-law got me. It says family. It's really cute. So I put that on the front of it. But that's it. It's really super simple and easy. Little things that you could just get up and do them right then and there. If you have your pajamas or whatever, anything else laying around, just put it away. As soon as you get up, put it away. When I get up, I just go and get dressed and ready right then and there. I take 10 to 15 minutes as soon as I wake up, go to the bathroom, brush my teeth, get dressed, run my fingers through my hair, throw on a little bit of makeup. I'm good to go for the day. Right then and there, done and taken care of before I even leave the room. Little things like that, again, that if we just take care of them right then and there, it really isn't that big of a deal. And if you can do these simple things and there's still chaos everywhere, maybe you do need to go through and simplify and minimize. You guys, I talk about it all the time. Keep the stuff you need, let go of all the excess. It's that simple. You just have to commit room by room, space by space, and do it. But once you start doing that, it makes it a lot easier. Make your bed, get dressed and ready. When you're in the bathroom, brush your teeth and whatever, keep some extra washcloths or microfiber towels or something in there. Wipe everything down. I learned that stuff from Fly Lady. You guys, Fly Lady is amazing. And I know some of you guys have used it as well. But the process of when you're in there, shine your sink. It takes, you can do it while you're brushing your teeth, honestly, so it doesn't even take extra time, but wipe everything down while you're in there. Collect the dirty clothes. My husband does that every day. We put all of our dirty clothes into a pile. When he gets his shower and comes out, he collects all the dirty clothes and throws them into the washer. I come in behind him, start it. Super duper simple. It takes like hardly any effort. And if you just do it right then and there, the stuff isn't backing up and getting out of control. So wipe your counter down while you're in there, put everything back where it goes, right? Have a place for everything and everything in its place. Put it back. Again, if we're only keeping what we need, we're not hoarding up excess, it isn't that big of a deal. The kids, teach them to do the same. Get up, get dressed, put your dirty clothes away, brush your teeth, pick up your room, make your bed, and make it super simple. Scale down the amount of stuff that your kids have so that they don't have to be overwhelmed with the stuff. Make their beds super easy. We do the same thing for our girls. They have a fitted sheet on their mattress, and then they each have a blanket. That's all they want. They don't want to mess with the sheets and all of the things. They could care less. That's what they have. It works for them. They can make it. They can do all of the stuff. They set their little toys up on their bed and everything, and they're good to go. Everything's clean and back to ready. Living room, super simple. I have a cupboard for some games. If you have we have an Xbox console, and then we have the controllers that go right there next to it. The things that we have, super duper simple. I have a couple pillows, a couple throw blankets because we love cozying up, and those all have a place. So as soon as I get done using them, or the kids get done using them, just put them back where they go. Make it simple for everything to have a place, and get in the habit of, before you leave that room, just do whatever needs to be done, that space is back to ready. Kitchen, I think that's one of the biggest ones. As you're cooking, clean stuff up. As I'm cooking, I always have a cloth, and I'm wiping the counter down and rinsing stuff off and putting it in the sink as we go. Our teenager, this is one of his jobs. After every meal, it's his job to load the dishwasher. So after every meal, the sink should have 0 dishes in it. Load the dishwasher as we go. After dinner, we start it and run it. In the morning, he can put the stuff away. Super simple and easy. In the morning, like I said, my husband brings the laundry and throws it in. We wash it, put it in the dryer. I have been doing, usually I can stick to 1 load a day. Sometimes I have to do 2 loads a day to keep up on everything, depending on what's going on. We put it in, go into the dryer. I've been trying to get better because I'm horrible at this, but instead of pulling stuff out of the dryer and setting it somewhere else to get folded and put it away, I've been trying to stand at the dryer, fold everything, put it into piles, whose clothes are whose, and then go put it straight away. So there's nowhere else for it to go. Just get it done. I shared last week my 7 dresses for 7 days. This is one of my new tops I'm trying out to see how I like it. But I try to keep very, very minimal wardrobe. So that way there can't be that many clothes to get backed up on. I've got a lot of people. It's a lot of laundry. I want it as simple and as minimal as possible because I don't have time to be keeping up with all that stuff. So in every place that we go, before I go to bed, after the kids go to bed, I usually do a sweep around the house all together. So in the evening time, I tell the kids, hey, it's time to pick up, make sure everything's off the floors, everything, whatever. Because if I find it out, I'm going to throw it away. I'm done with it. You obviously don't care about it if it's still out here laying on the floor. So before they go to bed, when they're doing their teeth and jammies, they have to go around the house. Hey, if there's anything out of place, get it picked up. Your stuff in your room, they each have a basket. It's a laundry basket from Dollar Tree. Their toys go in it. It goes onto a shelf. That's it. It's that simple. And they each have a little purse or a little backpack that they can put like little notebooks and drawing stuff in. And then that way it can zip up and try to keep the baby out of it. That's all I have. It's really can be that easy. You just have to do it. But after they have their opportunity to pick up in the evening and then they go to bed, after everybody's in bed, I go around, I can run the vacuum, I can spot mop anywhere I need to, just make sure everything is put back together. And then that way we can wake up in the morning and the whole house has been set to ready. And it makes such a huge difference, especially when you have all the hands at home. Yeah, it's a lot of hands to make messes, but it's also a lot of hands to pitch in. And so it's that simple. If you start doing these things, you start training up your children to do these things, your husband might even get on board, but start to get in the practice of, hey, before I leave this space, let me get it back to ready. So after dinner, before I go sit down and get on my phone or we start watching TV or whatever, we're going to get the table wiped down. We're going to get the counters wiped down, have everything loaded up in the dishwasher, let that start running. Everything's done. I don't have to worry about it. Before I leave my room in the morning, because I never come back in my room except for now to do these videos, but this usually is the room I spend the least amount of time in because I'm dealing with the rest of the house. So before I leave this room in the morning, I make my bed, I get dressed, I wipe down the counter, I do the things that need to be done so that way it's already back to ready. So when I come in the evening to get ready for bed, everything's done and taken care of. And do you know what a relief that is? Even mentally, after a long, crazy day of whatever on earth life has served today, to walk in and have everything like nice and put together and I don't know, you guys, it makes such a huge difference for me anyways. Maybe I'm the only one, but it makes a huge difference. Just like in the morning when I go out and I'm getting ready for a day, I've already got 4 kids going and all of the things. I'm already dressed and ready. My kitchen is clean. My sink is empty. So I can just go out and do the things, start making breakfast and doing all of the stuff. It makes life so much easier. And it's such a stress relief even for my husband. So when he's trying to work and he's dealing with all the serious things he's dealing with, to have a home that's in order and things running smoothly, it makes a huge difference and is a great service to him. A lot of us have kids, they're all learning from home now, even if you're not used to homeschooling. To have a space where your kids can sit down and focus and learn and do things without clutter and mess and chaos everywhere, that makes a big difference literally for everyone. So, big 20 some odd ramble of all of the different things. The thing I wanted to share today that I want to encourage us all to focus on doing this week is in every space that we're in, before we leave it to go move on to something else, let's get that space back to ready. I even mean when I'm in the laundry room and I start a fresh load of laundry, I will take like an article, if I have like a washcloth or something I'm getting ready, I will wipe down the washing machine and all of the stuff around it, right? Just to clean as I go, get stuff ready as I go, and every space then can be back to ready. So when I am ready to come in and use it, later in the day for whatever it is, everything's already in place. So I'm not having to start already this uphill battle in a space that's a mess and chaotic and out of order. Everything's back to ready so I can move in it. And if I just take the few minutes it takes, because it really doesn't take that long, if I get over myself and I just do the work when I'm already up and going, the payoff is so sweet. It is so absolutely worth to take those few minutes to just stay in the kitchen, clean everything down, wipe down the cupboards, wipe down the counters, wipe down whatever you got to do, load up the dishwasher, and the next time when you come in, hey, everything's already done. I promise it's worth it. So getting every space back to ready is what I want us all to focus on, because I know it's what I'm going to be focusing on, because I've been focusing on too many other projects around my house, which means I'm not focusing on getting things back to ready, and that just starts to create chaos, and I can't handle it. So that's what I'm going to work on and do. I wanted to share that with you guys, that maybe it might be something of benefit and help to you guys. If you post any pictures of your back to ready spaces, make sure you tag me on Instagram so we can take a peek at it. Heavenly Minded Homeschool over there. I'm going to go, it's about time. I'm going to go sit down with my husband because he's going to start Bible service soon. If you guys haven't joined us for the online Bible services, you'll have to come and do that. Everything's linked down in the description box though. So that was my tidbit for you all. Today, we will be vlogging our homeschool week this week, and then we will be off of vlogs for 2 weeks because Passover is coming, which I'm so excited for. We will be doing some Passover vlog, like Q&As and vlogs and stuff like that. So if you guys have any questions about Passover and the spring biblical feast, unleavened bread and first fruits, any of those things, totally just ask. We'll be answering all of your questions. I'm sure I'll run some Q&As on Instagram and Facebook too to get everybody's questions. But we've got a lot of that stuff that we'll be working on here soon, but we will be showing you all what we're doing this week, and I will be showing you. I'm trying to stay on top of my back to ready. So I will be showing you in real time in the vlogs how I'm trying to, not just be talking the talk, but walking the walk as well. So praying you all are having a great day and hanging in there with all of the chaos and crazy that's going on. But remember, you guys, look up, Jesus is coming. We have nothing to fear, nothing to worry about. Let's love, let's serve, let's really draw together on what's important. And I think if anything, this time is really showing what's important is being together, is having fun, is being in the Word of God and truly living by God's truth and not the world's so-called truth. So see you guys all tomorrow, and I guess that's it. Bye, guys.